Hey, it's Amy Scott Grant, your favorite spiritual ass kicker. And I'm here with another, this is a big one. You know what? I'm going to share this information with you because if you can do this one thing, it's going to shift so much for you in terms of clarity, confidence, and empowerment. Okay. And that is, are you ready to let go of I don't know? We say this a lot. And now that I'm bringing it up and you're watching this video, you're going to start to become aware of it because that's how your reticular activating system works. That little part of your brain that goes, oh, Kevin just bought a red Buick. Oh my God, there's another red Buick. There's another red. God, there's red Buicks everywhere. They've always been there. You just never sent a signal to your brain to say red Buicks are important for some reason. So now you sent that signal and your brain is picking up those red Buicks everywhere. Okay. It's called your reticular activating system. So we're activating your reticular activating system by talking about the phrase, I don't know. Because now that we're talking about it, we're bringing awareness to it. And awareness is the first step of getting rid of it, right? And we'll get to that in a minute. Why do we say, I don't know? And don't say, I don't know. Right? No, there's a few reasons. Sorry, there's like one piece of hair that's like, oh, I think I got it. Okay. Either that or this cobwebs. I mean, haven't really been doing a lot of cleaning lately. Been trying to get this book out, Not trying, been getting this book out. Let's just ground for a second. Why do you say, I don't know? I know, you're like, because I really don't know. Sometimes that's true. What's the square root of 7,411? I don't know. I can tell you without a doubt, I don't know, right? But we say, I don't know because we believe that we don't know. Maybe we even think we don't have access to that. Like whatever that number was, I just asked you the square root of, like, I really don't know what that, are you kidding me? Come on. I got a freaking calculator. I have 3 calculators because I have like a real, in my desk, I have a real calculator. I have a calculator on my phone and I have a calculator on the very computer that this webcam is sitting on that I'm doing this video. So whatever number it was, in a matter of seconds, I can get an answer to. So why do I need to say I don't know? I don't, right? If you ask me what's the square root of whatever, let me check. I don't need to say I don't know, let me check. I can literally just say, let me check. There's even a square root button on this calculator. I love it. Okay, so, and can't you check anything? I mean, really. Look, we know what happens. Do you know what happens when you say I don't know a lot? Let me give you an example. Where do you want to go for dinner? I don't know. What do you feel like? I don't know. Pizza? I don't know. We just had pizza. Chicken, fish? I don't know. Like, what do you, oh my God. It's infuriating, right? And it goes on for way too long. So what if you didn't say I don't know? We say I don't know because we're trying to buy time. I don't know. Square root? I don't know. And then everything runs through your head like, oh my God, I suck at math. Oh my God, this is why I failed algebra. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, right? Or whatever. We're trying to buy time. We think we really don't know, which doesn't put us in a solution mode of trying to get an answer. Sometimes we just don't want to make the decision. Where do you want to go to? Where do you want to have dinner? I don't know. Like, really, I'm tired, I'm hungry, and I don't care. Like, I don't want to make this decision. But we don't say, I don't really want to have to decide. So instead, we say, I don't know. It's kind of like, how are you? Fine. That's like, I hear the word fine in response to how are you more than I ever hear fine in the rest of conversations throughout an entire day. Like, do people say, oh, you're reading that book. Is it good? It's fine. No one says that, right? What did you think of that algebra class? It was fine. No one says that. But when they say, how are you? I'm fine. How are you? Or I'm good. How are you? We don't even think, right? So I don't know is one of those like sort of habit phrases that comes out of our mouth before we're even aware of what we're saying. No, I don't know. So we say it like to buy time, to avoid making the decision, like to put the decision off on someone else, or to just avoid that whole responsibility. And it may be that we don't feel like making the decision. It may be that we don't want to be responsible. You may have a great restaurant, but you don't want to recommend it because you know this friend is really picky. And if they don't like it, then that's going to somehow be a reflection on you because you made the suggestion and it all just feels like too much pressure. So it's easier to say, I don't know, you pick, right? And I don't know can also keep us from moving into our power because right now there's so much energy shifting about who you are and where you're headed and what you're going to do with your life. And that can all feel like a lot of pressure pressing down on me, right? Like a lot of pressure. So it's easier to stay in confusion and say, I don't know, because then you don't have to actually take any action, be powerful, solve problems, or step into your freaking magnificence. Right? So we have a lot of, justifications and reasons for saying I don't know. But what I don't know does is it stymies all progress. Okay? It just grinds everything to a halt, as evidenced in, what do you want? I don't know. What do you want? I don't know. I don't care. Do you want this? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Nothing is moving forward. People are getting more agitated and hungrier by the minute because no one will make a freaking decision. So how can you eliminate, and of course that's just dinner, right? If we're talking about your life, how much time do you really have? Is your time left on this planet getting longer or shorter? So then why would you want to delay things anymore, right? Because you're scared. I get it. I totally get that. Stepping into your magnificence is kind of terrifying, right? I mean, I got to tell you, lately, I'm putting myself out there in ways that are not comfortable for me. They're not the ways that I have built my business to this point. And they're not ways that I feel like super chill with. There are other ways that are way more, creating a lot more exposure and vulnerability. But in order for me to serve the amount of people that I keep getting is optimal for me to serve, and in order for me to reach the amount of people that I'm being pressed to reach, it requires me to push way out of what's been comfortable and what I've done in the past. So I feel ya with the fear and the trepidation. I totally am present to that. Okay? But in case you hadn't noticed, the universe gets pretty noisy when we try to turn it down and pretend like when we try to turn up the music, la, 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 can't hear you. What life purpose? I don't know. We just keep turning up the daily chores and the going through the motions, whatever. It's not like the universe is like, I get it. You're busy. I'll come back in 10 years. No, it gets louder and it starts knocking and banging on the door. Then it gets the freaking chainsaw and cuts a hole in the door for you if you won't listen and do what you're being called to do. Right? Have you not noticed that? It's persistent, if nothing else. If you ignore the universe, it will just keep getting louder and louder. It will not let you rest until it's been heard, right? Because, if you know my sort of origin story, you can only ignore it for so long and then things get really ugly. So you might as well, you signed up for this. At some point, you signed up for this. So you might as well get on board, right? So let's do it. So forget saying, I don't know. So how do you break the habit of saying, I don't know? Use a pattern chatter. When you hear the words, I don't know, coming out of your mouth, stop that immediately. Even if you're already getting out, no. Right? Just rewind or say, cancel, or make a big X in the air, or just imagine you're scratching out the words in your mind, whatever works for you. But interrupt and stop that pattern. Pattern chatter just means you recognize the pattern, you immediately stop it and do something different. So if your partner says, what do you want to do for dinner tonight? And you're like, I don't, just stop and think for a second. What do you want? What do you feel like? If you don't care, then it's okay. If you really don't care, You're like, I'm not even hungry right now. Just say that. You know what? I'm not even hungry right now. Why don't you pick? Just say it instead of saying, I don't know. And when when you're sitting there and you're thinking, oh my God, what should I do? What should I do next? Instead of thinking, I don't know, stop, interrupt that pattern, and instead think, let me check. Let me check in. I will find out. There's so many other ways you could, like so many other phrases that you can substitute for I don't know. So here's some things that you can affirm, even not like in addition to the pattern chatter. You could just affirm these any old time, right? Write them on sticky notes, put them all over your computer, put little timed reminders on your phone, whatever. But you can use these affirmations. I know I always say like affirmations aren't necessarily the fastest way to reverse something, but they are a great way to reinforce something new that you're creating. Okay. So here's some affirmations you could try. I will ask. Yes, I know. I got this. I know this. I am clear. I receive guidance. I will check in. Let me check in, right? So when someone asks you a question and you don't know, let me check in. Now, if you haven't noticed, I'll tell you a little secret. If you've been on a lot of my, like anything live that I do, like, sorry, I hit the microphone. Anything live that I do, like, do you know I have this like big fancy mic on a retractable arm? It's awesome. Live webinars or live video chats or like Facebook lives. I'll be doing a lot of those now. All that kind of stuff. When we open up for questions, someone asks me a question. Whenever you hear me say, this is a secret, don't tell anybody. But whenever you hear me say, that's a really good question, it means I don't know, I need to check. But I don't say I don't know. But it's like because sometimes when someone asks you a question, you really do need to buy yourself a few seconds just to think. And that's what I use instead of saying, I don't know. So if someone asks me a question and they're like, why am I always afraid, or why this or why that? I go, that's a really good question. It just gives me like, that is a good question. And it gives me a second to think or to check in and get the answer so that I don't just have silence on the line for 3 seconds, right? While I'm like checking in. Now, if you're an introvert, just little sidebar here. By the way, thank you, Gannon, for being one of our spiritual ass kicker patrons. Gannon helps support this channel. I know everybody here, I love you guys. You're on Patreon, you're awesome. Everybody here helps support. Gannon's like at a high level support. So we really, really appreciate her energy and attention in keeping this channel going and keeping our community financially supported. So thank you, Gannon. We appreciate you. If you are an introvert, you need like 40 seconds on average to answer a question. Okay. So it's good to have something to say to fill that, not to fill the space. I don't want to say that, but it's like, if you're an introvert and you're talking to an extrovert and the extrovert asks you a question, oh my God, they've already got their answer. Like they're asking you a question and they know exactly how they would answer that question. And you need 40 seconds to process the question and formulate an answer and then deliver that answer, right? So 40 seconds is like a lifetime to an extrovert. They're like, what is wrong with this person? Did you not hear me? Do you want me to repeat? They'll just keep talking, which makes it even harder for the introvert to like have the quiet that they need to process. So as an introvert, it would be really good for you to have a phrase that you can use to buy yourself the time that you need to formulate that answer. Okay, so on average, 40 seconds. That could be a minute. That could be 30, like really, okay? It's a long time for an extrovert to wait for their answer. If they don't know what's going on, if they think you didn't hear them or you didn't acknowledge them or you don't want to answer, maybe they offended you, a million things will go through their head when you're not answering while you're just processing the question and thinking of an answer. So try this on for size if you're an introvert. Someone asks you a question, you can say, give me a minute. Let me think on that. Let me think for a couple of minutes. Like, good question. Let me consider that, right? So that'll really help you a lot. It'll also help you from getting railroaded in conversations with people like me who are like, what's taking so long? No, I have friends that are introverts. I've learned, and clients, like, I've learned how to roll with it, right? And how to be okay with those little pauses of silence. Because in the past, I would be like, oh my God, no, I'm on a teleclass. Like, we need to fill, we need to fill all the sound. We need to, like, it's like, no. If I'm asking a question and someone takes a while to answer, probably an introvert. So just be cool, be calm, right? I might even like check email real quick while they're thinking of their answer. So, but for people that don't interact with a lot of introverts, they wouldn't know that necessarily. All right. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you guys love this information, this training. I challenge you to let go of I don't know. And I would love for you to post a comment on this video and let us know if you're accepting that challenge or not. Even if you think, you know what, that's not really a phrase that I use. You might use it more than you realize now that we've activated your reticular activating system to be aware of it, right? So post a comment. Let us know if you're taking the let go of I don't know challenge. And we would love to be able to support you in being that challenge and for you to let us know how it works out. All right. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time.